Hey, welcome to Too Many Gadgets. So today we are talking about this. This is the Xiaomi Mi Smart Band 5. The Mi Band 5 for me is one of the best products that came out of 2020 if you compare what it does, what it can, and how much you pay for it. This is extremely powerful a product for a very affordable price where everyone can really afford it. So this is not the first tracking slash watch that Xiaomi has made. But the number 5 series here is really where I think they cemented their position as the best if you compare functionality with price. Let's look at the specifications for this watch. The Mi Band 5 has a 1.1-inch AMOLED display and weighs only 12 grams. It's waterproof down to 50 meters and has a 3-axis accelerometer sensor and a 3-axis gyroscope sensor. You get a heart rate monitor and a step count. It connects to your phone via Bluetooth 5.0 and you get a sleep monitoring system. Battery time is to be expected between 10 to 14 days. It has built-in support for 11 different styles of exercise. In order to configure the watch, you download the Mi Fit app, which is a different app from the Mi Home app, and thus you also need a Mi Fit account different from your Mi Home account. By adding your personal data and allowing the data from this app to be integrated into your health app, you will get all the data combined. You need to define your weight, height, and etc., and that's pretty much it, and then just select the band that you want to add to this system. After the app and the watch have been connected, you can start doing the configuration and see all the different settings. Note this notification about allowing notifications to be mirrored on this device. This is really a great looking watch. So the AMOLED display really shines, it's crisp, easy to read, the brightness is very nice and clear, so even in sunlight you have no problems whatsoever with reading the information, and you can actually pack quite a lot of information on this display. You have the ability to choose between a lot of different watch faces, and you can customize the watch faces with the type of information you want on them. So a lot of information on this crisp display, and because it's so light, again they're only like 12 grams, it's you won't probably even notice it. It comes with this silicone strap per default, but you can easily buy loads of different straps and bands to your liking, and they are very affordable again if you buy them from places like AliExpress or similar. In terms of battery time, my experience having this watch in our household for about 6 months is that you get between 10 to 14 days of battery time, which is really great. So one of the ways that it accomplishes this is that you cannot set this watch to have sort of an always on mode, which is becoming something that you see more and more in smartwatches. But this is not the case for this watch. At the maximum, you can have the display turned on 10 seconds before it automatically shuts off to preserve battery. Because it's very light and cheap and lots of functionality, you could see this as an ideal watch for children, and I would agree it is. However, don't buy it too early for them. I would say your child needs to be at least 10 years old for your child's wrist to be big enough to really have a good fit for this watch, because it is kind of wide if you look at it from this angle going across the wrist. So when I tried a couple of years earlier with my child, it didn't really fit. So make sure you sort of measure your child's wrist before buying it for a child. The sensors on the watch make sure that when you lift it, it will automatically turn the screen on. So you don't need to push the small button here that is like the main control in order for it to show you the time of day. That will just happen automatically just by being lifted with the gyros in the watch. Being categorized as a fitness watch, this will have the typical functionality of counting the number of steps that you take per day, your heart rate and stuff like that, weather information, but you also get a lot of other functionalities with this watch. You get a really nice functionality about tracking your sleep. You get a stopwatch, you get caller ID, so you can see who's calling you without having to look at your phone. you get the ability to have some of the apps you have installed on your phone notification replicated on this wrist watch. Not all, but selected apps have that ability to turn on and off if you want to see the notifications on your watch. And this is some of the things that are typically only found on more expensive watches, which again is really a great steal on this watch, that you get these type of functionality on this very affordable device. Let's have a look at the menus to give you an idea how you interact with the watch and the possibilities you have in terms of different settings and stuff like that. The main menus are workout, weather, events, which is sort of their calendar, cycles monitoring for women, breathing exercises, stress monitoring, notifications, heart rate monitoring, Pi, which is sort of a pseudo health index that Xiaomi have created, and then status. When you look at the menus and we go into the settings sections, you also see some of the other functionality that this watch has. One of the primary ones is that you have the option directly on the watch to change the watch face on the go if you want to. So you don't need to do this from the app, you can do it, but you can also do it directly from the watch. Note how big of difference the display settings can be, and this is the remote trigger for your camera phone if you want to use that. These are the different training programs that are available pre-installed. And here you see the weather information for the area that you define. Just diving quickly into the breathing area, this is a way to relieve stress by doing deep breath exercises. This is something that we have also seen for a couple of years on the Apple Watch system. Notification shows you app notifications and missed calls if you have that feature turned on. Heart rate monitoring is done by using the two sensors on the back of the watch that will measure your heart rate through your skin. By swiping on the watch, you can go directly to some of the primary functions like music control and notifications. Here you see an example on how it looks on the watch when you receive a call. Let's have another look at the app from a more day-to-day perspective. Here you see like the main dashboard showing you how you've progressed with how many steps and stuff like that you've taken, and you can deep dive into those data and go back in time to see from a day-to-day perspective how many steps you've taken and stuff like that. You can define these goals and adjust them according to your preferences. Let's have a look at some of the notifications. Here you see for the incoming call, you can turn that on and off, and also select specific apps that you want to receive notifications from. This is the watch face store that you can select different watch faces from. There are quite a lot to choose from, and you can configure them. You have an idle alarm to help you keep track if you are sitting down too much, and you have a normal alarm for waking you up or keeping you on time. You can define which arm this band is sitting on, because that helps the watch keeping track when you lift or raise your arm, and then automatically turn the displays on if you want that. Heart rate monitoring is also configurable if you want it to be turned on and how often you need it to run. You can configure the sort order of the shortcut and display menus and turn them on and off if there are someone you don't want and use. There's a wall clock for you to use once we are allowed to travel again. And last but not least, you actually have the option to define your own vibration pattern for a specific app notification just by tapping the app during this configuration. This is actually quite cool. So under the theme, stuff that you should be extra aware about, let's just sort of reiterate. The always on functionality is not available on this watch, and this is something that you might find yourself really would like to have, because with this extremely great screen, you sort of always want to have it just on and see the crisp watch faces that you can use with this watch. But that is not possible at maximum 10 seconds. The charger is nowhere anything standard, so be careful with that, because if you lose it, of course you can buy a new one online, but it's not something that you can just easily pick up in your local store. So this is not standard. Be careful with it. It's super easy to change the band. I've bought, for example, this one for my daughter, and you can get loads and loads of these to whatever liking and type of activity you have. If you want to use it for a sports band, or if you want to use it for something more formal or classic, or whatever type of material that you want, you can pretty much get anything for this watch. And it takes like only a little under a minute to change the band. For those of you who are iOS users and uses the health app to sort of accumulate the health metrics that your different devices uses, this device will also integrate with that sort of ecosystem so that all your data is collected into that. For me, this was one of the best products that came out in 2020. I mean, $30 including shipping from AliExpress, really? That is so impressive that you can buy something with that type of functionality and that good looking of a screen for that little money. Really, really impressed by Xiaomi's design team here, that they have managed to make this type of product with so few limitations, really. And again, the few limitations I found, just to reiterate them, are the ability to set the watch to have the display turned on more than the 10 seconds, and that you can choose more apps than what is currently available to get notifications on the watch. Those are really the only two points that I can find where this watch could have improvements. But else, this is just really, really great, and pretty much a 10 out of 10 product for me, especially again when you look at the extremely affordable price. A really big thumbs up from me for this product. If you have any questions or your own experience about this watch that you feel to share with the others on this channel, please leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in another video.